Alright guys, HyDra again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Pred has vowed to end Scump's dominance of the off-season so far by taking him down in the Ghost Show match in a couple of days' time, but he does admit that Shotzzy and Dashy will have no idea what they're doing on COD Ghost, and even Scump admits that effectively it was him on the OpTic Legacy Dynasty type roster that forced the switch from Black Ops 3 back to COD Ghost initially, but there is one map that Pred isn't particularly keen to play. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. This is XDefiant as of yesterday. I believe, as we saw the other day, they did this kind of one-day playtest again. People did generally say this felt smoother and better than it did in the previous beta versions. So, okay, great. Maybe the game's better. Maybe they made some improvements. Lovely stuff. Does it really matter if the game launches later than it was intended to and alongside all the other stuff? And there's a debate as to whether, well, should they just delay it now, just allow COD to come out in November, bring XDefiant out next year? I don't really know if it matters either way. I think it might be just best fit just to release it when they can, and then maybe it only starts doing well next April or something when people start getting bored of the COD. I don't know, but it's obviously unfortunate what's happened here from the XDefiant side, because I was looking forward to some maybe competition for COD. Doesn't seem like it's going to happen. That one-day playtest is now come and gone, and Octane actually did say that he really enjoyed it, to be fair. He says XDefiant is godlike. So maybe XDefiant's Pro League, Octane will be the first member, because that was kind of the joke that was going around, that potentially former CDL players, or Octane obviously wasn't washed up, but washed up pros could go to the XDefiant Pro League, which maybe will exist in a few years, but for now it doesn't necessarily seem all that likely. The game isn't even here. Yesterday, if you guys watched yesterday's video, we discussed this Ravens drama, and it's really no surprise massively, but here we go. So Dominate's former head coach was suggesting that, well, basically the company either owed current and former employees money they hadn't paid them, implying himself included, and, well, we don't really know which others, whether it's players, whether it's other staff that were involved with the team. We don't have, as of yet, any massive updates on this, apart from this from Cam Allen, who used to work with them in like a coaching analyst perspective, and as he says, might be time to post about my experiences with London. So yeah, maybe more to come on this stuff. Of course, no longer London. Maybe that's what they did. Escape, it's not London anymore, it's Carolina, so a completely different company. So no issues here, although that's not really the reality of the situation. Now, just to give you guys an update on the CDL stuff, we do have, well, these are the teams that have been confirmed. I thought it was quite nice the way the CDL put this together, to be fair, looking at the players that are returning to the team or brand new players that have been signed, just to kind of give a picture of how much these teams are changing. And obviously all the teams are changing, which is definitely a surprise. I mean, 12-team Rostermanias don't happen particularly often when one team has to win the final event of the season. Subliners made one change, FaZe made one change, OpTic made 2 changes, Breach made 3 changes, but to be honest, it was kind of like 4 really, because Snoopy only came in for champs, so technically he returned, but he wasn't there for long. Thieves, brand new roster, Rocker, brand new roster, and the other 2 we have are kind of an entirely new roster for Heretics, although Vikul is returning, and then Toronto, 3 or 4. These 4 teams, nothing's going on yet, and it's, to be honest, surprising if Surge haven't signed anyone, because, to be honest, Surge have known what they're doing, I think, for quite some time now, and the idea that they haven't actually put pen to paper is interesting, to say the very least. You guys remember when Sib was signing to New York, it was leaked on the CDL contract page before it was actually officially announced, and that's usually, well, obviously a mistake from their end. They're only really meant to make those things public when the team has announced it, but still, they put the contract signing publicly, and you would have thought, given the fact that Surge have an idea, they might have actually signed the deals. And to be honest, I thought that aBeZy, that deal was done, just because a buyout, I think, was agreed there between the Awobabobs and Surge. Maybe they have signed the players and it's just not been revealed yet. That is the more likely possibility. But the other teams, we don't know. aBeZy, Arcetes, Illy, and Hook, by the way, is the team of 4, as we understand it to be. We'll discuss that a little bit more later today, actually. And even Arcetes says 50 gifted to the COD League to leak the rest of the rosters. So does he know the rest of the rosters? We haven't really seen anything from Jake Hell or anything on this. Ravens have, look, at the end of the day, we don't know what Gorillas are doing. We don't know what Vegas are doing, but Ravens, for all the drama, have signed a coach, right? They've brought in Brian Saint, formerly of Minnesota Rocker, as their head coach and general manager. So he wouldn't have just sat there doing nothing for the last week. He would have been talking to players and trying to build a roster. Whether it's going to be good or not, that's another question. But I'm sure Ravens are moving. They've got to be. I mean, you've got to make a team at some point, these rosters that are remaining here in this period. But time will only tell if whatever they put together will actually be any good. Now, the OpTic Legacy match coming up in just a couple of days was meant to be on Black Ops 3. And it was a bit of a mystery. Why is it not on Black Ops 3 anymore? Who made the call to move it off Black Ops 3 to Ghosts? I theorized the other day that it was probably Scump, and he basically says here in the episode of the OpTic podcast that, yeah, he didn't want to do Black Ops 3, mainly just because it's a lot different. When you play these games now, especially on PC and stuff, it's very different to how it felt back in the day. And I think even aBeZy made this point known when they were doing the Black Ops 3 throwbacks, that it just didn't feel the same. He had his problems with it. Once you adapt to it, I think it's okay, but to hop on the game for kind of like the first time, maybe Scump didn't really want to do it, especially when Dashy's been grinding it the whole time. He said, let's go play Ghost. And, Scump obviously all thought that his team could win on Ghost, because Scump don't want to lose. I mean, this guy might be retired. It doesn't mean that he hasn't lost that competitive drive. He's still absolutely got it. I mean, we saw how he performed with the Black Ops 2 throwback with Hitch and stuff just the previous week. Dropped a 1.4 over the tournament. He wasn't going easy on anyone at all, and took home the resounding tournament MVP. Karma the finals MVP. Pred was their second best player, probably, which is very impressive, all things considered. And Pred will need to be very good again here in the Ghosts throwback that this is now going to become, because it's OpTic Texas versus OpTic Legacy with bows instead of formal, because he's practicing for the Halo World Championship. Now, Pred is very confident that he can get the better of Scump here, which is pretty funny to think about, really. They obviously, did they sit next to each other on the stage? They were obviously on the same team, at least. So Pred had some idea, the way the Scump was playing. He got to watch him play Black Ops 2. That's not quite the same as watching him play Ghost, but Pred does feel like he gains some insight from watching Scump play while they were teaming a few days ago, and now Pred can bring that knowledge and insight into the match they'll play against each other here on Ghosts, and potentially use that against him. The issue that Pred has is that his teammates might be kind of lost. Kenny has been very confident, and he said this on socials, that they're going to beat the Legacy team. You know, these old guys aren't going to have a chance. And Dashy said the same thing. But Pred reckons that Dashy and I think definitely Shotzzy are realistically going to have no particular idea what they're doing. I think that Dashy should. I'm sure that Dashy must have played some Ghost Search and Destroy not long ago. I think Shotzzy might be kind of clueless, but then you've got potentially game modes like Blitz, where movement and routes come into play, and that's where Shotzzy could come into his own.
Happening this Sunday.
12 p.m.
What are the teams?
It's me, Bose, Damon, and Krim versus OpTic Texas.
Yeah, I'm gonna get, dude. You guys, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you guys don't chalk them going into the season? Okay, don't beat them too hard.
They're lucky it's not Black Ops 3, because
I'm actually glad it's not,
because Brendan hasn't gone off that thing.
Yeah,
it would have been.
Who hasn't gotten
Dashy?
Dashy's still on it?
He hasn't. He's been playing Black Ops 3.
Yeah, he's been playing.
And he's on y'all squad.
Yeah,
but it's not.
Okay.
It's not Black Ops
they
3.
went to
It's
Ghost.
not Black Ops 3. It's Ghost.
And I know Ant and Brendan.
And then this guy
have
just
no
got
idea.
off of a MVP performance, so you know he's got some juices flowing. I don't know
But
about y'all.
I've been watching him, so I'm gonna counter his shit and Ghost. So.
Yo, let me ask you. How good did he do on stage?
Nah, he did really good.
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised. I was surprised more because of how hard it is to actually play in that. Like that input delay is insane.
Oh
Yeah, and when I was seeing,
God.
I'm like, damn, like I'm doing okay. But he was like 42 and 12. I was like, holy
Dude,
shit.
Damon went 49 and
Like-
19 too.
like when you bro.
No, but Ghost will be. I feel like Ghost will be like.
More even?
Yeah, it'll just be Ghost will be
'cause
fun.
it's straight ground. Like
Ghost is fun. I actually
Everyone's
enjoy
on the
playing that game.
ground.
S&D in that game is like
It'll be fun.
elite.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I
Ghost
just-
is gonna be fun.
We just need a GA
I just is it best of 9, best of 11? Do we even know what it is?
No, I
I
don't
think
think we do.
it's 9.
Matt Craig probably knows.
I
Where-
feel like we should.
where is
we
it?
have to play Blitz, but
Arlington?
No, Arlington. Is it
Anal
open to the
Blitz might be
public?
insane.
Nah,
No,
Patient,
right?
No, I don't think so. I think
Okay.
we're just like streaming it. Mine that I didn't want to play was
Yeah.
BO3,
BO3. What about you?
and then what I wanted to play was Ghost.
Ghost also?
Well, because BO3, it's like online. It's 200 FPS. You have to do like DS4. You have to like. There's so many things you have to
So
do
many
for the
settings.
game to feel like normal, and I just don't want to deal with that. That's not the game that I used to play.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna go up there and play a game. You know,
Oh man!
Ghost
All
will be fun,
right.
though. Ghost is I think it's a perfect game for
I
it.
think Ghost is the perfect game
Yeah.
because like it'll be pretty even.
Yeah.
There's probably gonna be like a little input delay, so it's not like it'll just be fun.
It'll be on PS4, Xbox One.
So over the course of the Black Ops 2 tourney the other day, it was Scump with the 1.38, Prid with the 1.19, then Karma, then Shotzzy. And look, Shotzzy will naturally, to games that he's never really played much of before at all, take some time to adapt. I mean, the first couple of series Shotzzy played in the Black Ops 2 throwback, not particularly good. Over time, he got better and better, as you'd expect. And to be fair, it was the same thing when he started out in the CDL. You guys probably remember, if you've been around a few years, the start of the MW19 season in 2020, when he was on Dallas Empire, and people were calling him botsy. People were saying, oh, Shotzi's going to get dropped. He's another Halo flop, like this guy ain't any good, this type of stuff. People who knew ball knew that wasn't the case, but he was dropping 0.6s, like he had a bit of a hard time at the start of that game, and it's understandable, struggling with the transition somewhat, and a title that he hadn't really played on a competitive level before. Over time, Shotzi's become phenomenal, no doubt, and a very impactful player over the last few years, but the idea that he's got to hop on Ghost, a game that he's not really played much of before at all, for, you know, a best of 9, it's not like he has multiple series to adapt to this, and it might end up being a best of 11. It's not like the CDL. They can decide, you know, they can get to 8 maps into the series and decide, do you want to do best of 11 guys? And they can be like, yeah, sound, let's do a few more maps, because it's not like anyone's going to be able to stop them. So maybe there'll be some more maps here for Shotzzy to warm up into, but that does seem to be Pred's primary concern. Like, Pred believes that he's going to be good on Ghost. Kenny believes the same. Dashy believes the same as well, although that Pred seems to think that maybe Dashy and Shotzzy won't have too much of an idea what they're doing. He did also mention Blitz, though, as a game mode, and how you could kind of, if you listen to what Pred was saying, you would have heard him say it, but it was kind of people were talking at the same time. He basically said, like, during Blitz, Shotzzy could be pretty good at that game mode. It's a game mode, if you guys are unfamiliar, there's each team has a portal in their base, and if you run into that portal, you score a point and you teleport back to your own base. So kind of it's an interesting game. You'd have lots of captures during the course of a game, and you know, you've got to play attack and defense at the same time. This was one of the maps it was played on, Octane Blitz. This is also played in Domination. This is also played in Search and Destroy, and that was the map that Pred said, can we GA Octane? Can we not play this map? Personally, I don't think this was the best map in the game, no doubt, but for Search and Destroy, I really liked Octane. I mean, the crosshairs, the way you could use the smokes, I think for Search it was great. Maybe not worth playing Octane Blitz, depends what they put in the best of 9 series. There's better options. I mean, Warhawk is just phenomenal for Blitz and absolutely Search and Destroy. So Pred wants to steer clear here of Octane, and I do wonder whether they'll listen to Pred on this one, because they clearly listened to Scump in terms of choosing how this would be played. Scump said to whoever was organising it, I don't want to do Black Ops 3, I want to do Ghost. And guess what? It gets changed from Black Ops 3 to Ghost. How convenient. So maybe the OpTic Texas guys, if they say, all right, we want to do the map vetoes, or we want to get rid of this or that, then maybe there's they're going to be open to that. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen here. And as Shotzzy says, can't wait to find the movement on Ghost. So there ain't really much movement on Ghost. This is the thing. In Ghost, it was more about positioning, and it was more about, you know, the routes you would take off spawn and stuff. Because you could move pretty quick, you could sprint forever in that game, which is like the first time that had really been introduced if you have the right perks on with, you know, like a marathon or whatever it was called in that title. Also, there was lightweight that was very viable as well in that game. Dead silence was completely silent. That's kind of the movement skill gap is on where you go and what you do as opposed to how you do it. You can slide, but it's not particularly good. But despite all that going on, Pred still seems confident that he's going to be able to carry this team to victory. So very much interested in your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.